Commander Natasha Volkov's boots echoed through the curved corridor of Outpost Helios as she made her evening rounds. 20 years of space station maintenance had taught her every sound, every vibration, every subtle shift in the recycled air that might signal trouble. Tonight, something felt off. The environmental readouts on her wrist display showed normal parameters, but there was a faint whisper in the ventilation system she'd never heard before. Like a distant wind, if wind could exist in the vacuum of space. She paused near Junction 7, pressing her palm against the cool metal wall. The vibration was barely perceptible, but definitely there. Engineering, this is Commander Volkov. Are we running any unusual system tests tonight? Negative, Commander, replied Chief Engineer Raj Patel, his voice crackling through her comm unit. All systems nominal. Something concerning you? Before she could respond, the station's A chimed in. Warning. Anomalous pressure variance detected in Section 12B source undefined. Recommendation. Immediate investigation required. Natasha was already moving, her measured walk becoming a practiced glide in the station's artificial gravity. Rage, meet me there. Bring your full diagnostic kit. She clicked her comm twice, switching channels. Security Officer Yamamoto, join us in 12B. The section in question housed some of the station's most sensitive research laboratories, where scientists from Earth's top institutions studied everything from zero-gravity crystallization to dark matter detection. As she approached, the whisper she'd noticed earlier grew stronger, taking on an almost musical quality. Reg and Kenji Yamamoto arrived moments later, the engineer's diagnostic case floating behind him on a magnetic tether. Kenji's hand rested casually on his sidearm, standard procedure for any unusual situation, even though there hadn't been a security incident on Helios in over 3 years. I'm getting some weird readings, Rage muttered, waving a handheld scanner across the corridor walls. It's not like anything I've seen before. There's definitely a leak, but it's not behaving like any normal pressure loss. Define not normal, Natasha pressed, watching the holographic readout hovering above Rage's scanner. Normal leaks are straightforward. Pressure decreases in a predictable pattern as atmosphere escapes into space. He frowned, tapping the display. It's almost like the air is being pulled somewhere, but there's nothing on the other side of these walls except vacuum. Kenji's comm unit crackled. Security, this is Dr. Isabella Santos in Lab 7. We're picking up some unusual energy signatures in our dark matter detection array. Started about 10 minutes ago. Should we be concerned? The 3 officers exchanged glances. Lab 7 was directly adjacent to their position. Stay put, Doctor. We're investigating now, Kenji replied, his voice steady despite the tension visible in his shoulders. Natasha made a decision. Raj, get us into that lab. Kenji, full containment protocols. No one in or out of this section until we understand what we're dealing with. The lab's door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing Dr. Santos and her team huddled around a bank of monitors. The whisper Natasha had noticed was stronger here, almost like a chorus of voices just below the threshold of comprehension. Commander, Dr. Santos straightened up, her dark eyes wide with excitement rather than fear. You need to see this. She gestured to the main display, where a complex pattern of energy signatures pulsed and shifted. Whatever this is, it's not just a leak. It's responding to our detection attempts. It's intelligent. Intelligent how? Natasha moved closer to the display, noting how the patterns seemed to ripple in sync with the strange whispers. Watch this. Isabella typed a series of commands, sending out a simple mathematical sequence through the detection array. The energy patterns shifted, reorganizing themselves into a perfect mirror of the sequence before expanding upon it, creating complex variations that maintained the original mathematical relationships. "It's not just responding," Raj breathed. "It's teaching." The whispers grew louder, and Natasha felt a sudden pressure in her ears, like descending rapidly in an aircraft. Warning lights flashed across every display in the lab. "Multiple containment breaches detected," the Station A announced. "Unknown energy signature spreading through sections 12B through 12F emergency protocols initiated." "Everyone out," Natasha ordered, but even as the words left her mouth, she knew it was too late. The whispers had become a song, and the walls themselves seemed to pulse with a soft, blue-white light that emerged from the very molecular structure of the metal. "Look." Kenji pointed to where the light was coalescing into distinct patterns on the wall, not random designs, but what appeared to be technical diagrams, mathematical formulas, and what could only be described as star charts, but showing configurations no human had ever seen. Dr. Santos was frantically recording everything, her fingers flying across her tablet. "This is unprecedented." "Commander, this isn't a leak. We're being contacted. Something has found a way to reach through the quantum fabric of space itself to communicate with us." Natasha felt the weight of command settle heavily on her shoulders. In all her years of training, nothing had prepared her for this moment. "Reg, get me full containment fields around this section. Kenji, I want a security team at every junction leading to this area. Dr. Santos," she paused, watching as more complex patterns continued to emerge from the walls, "keep recording everything. And get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They're going to want to hear about this." As the team rushed to carry out her orders, Natasha remained rooted in place, watching as the mysterious phenomenon continued to unfold around them. The leak, it seemed, was just the beginning. Something vast and unknown had chosen Outpost Helios as its point of first contact, and humanity's next great adventure was about to begin. What none of them realized yet was that this beautiful display of cosmic communication was merely the precursor to events that would challenge not just their understanding of the universe, but their very survival in it. The real test would come not in deciphering these messages, but in dealing with what followed them through the quantum breach they had inadvertently discovered. The quantum patterns had been spreading through Outpost Helios for 6 hours when the first casualty occurred. Dr. Marcus Reed, a junior researcher in crystallography, collapsed while taking readings of the phenomenon. By the time medical responded, his tablet was filled with equations written in a frenzied hand, equations that defied the laws of known physics. "His neural patterns are completely erratic," Dr. Yuki Tanaka reported from the medical bay, her holographic image flickering above Commander Volkov's desk. "It's as if his brain is processing information faster than humanly possible. We've induced a medical coma to prevent further damage." Natasha rubbed her temples, fighting back exhaustion. "And you're certain it's connected to the breach?" The patterns in his neural scan match the quantum fluctuations we're detecting throughout the station. Whatever this entity is, it's not just communicating through our walls. It's trying to communicate directly with our minds. A soft chime interrupted them as Raj entered the commander's office, his usually immaculate uniform showing signs of his marathon engineering session. "Commander, we've got another problem. The station's power grid is being affected. Something's drawing massive amounts of energy, but we can't trace where it's going. How long until we lose critical systems?" That's the strange part. Reg pulled up a diagnostic display. The energy isn't being depleted. It's being transformed. Every joule that's drawn is replaced with something else. something our sensors can't properly measure. Before Natasha could respond, Kenji's voice crackled through the comm. Security alert. We've got unauthorized access attempts in the quantum computing lab. But there's no one there. The systems are operating themselves. Natasha was on her feet instantly. Raj with me. Dr. Tanaka, keep monitoring Dr. Reed. Alert me if there's any change. They were running before the doctor's acknowledgement came through. The quantum computing lab was Helios's most secure facility, housing experimental systems that pushed the boundaries of human technology. As they approached, they could hear the distinctive hum of the quantum processors running at full capacity. Dr. Isabella Santos was already there, working furiously at a terminal while Kenji and his security team secured the perimeter. The wall-borne patterns had converged here, creating a dense tapestry of light that pulsed in sync with the computers. It's using our quantum processors as some kind of translation matrix, Isabella explained without looking up. The mathematics are beautiful. Terrible, but beautiful. It's showing us how to bend space-time itself. Shut it down, Natasha ordered. We can't. Rage interjected, checking another terminal. The systems are completely locked out. And look at this, the quantum patterns are spreading through our entire network. Every computer on the station is being transformed, upgraded, infected, Kenji corrected grimly. A low resonance began building throughout the station, different from the earlier whispers. This was deeper, more purposeful. The patterns on the walls shifted, forming what looked like a three-dimensional blueprint of Outpost Helios itself, with certain sections highlighted in pulsing red light. Those are our structural weak points, Raj whispered. It knows exactly where we're vulnerable. Isabella's terminal suddenly erupted in new data. Commander, it's not just showing us our weaknesses, it's showing us how to fix them. These designs, they're improvements to our current technology. Quantum-reinforced materials, gravity manipulation systems, energy matrices we've never dreamed of. Why would it do that? Kenji asked, his hand never leaving his weapon. Why help us? The answer came in an unexpected way. Dr. Reed's voice echoed through the station's comm system, though they all knew he was still in a medical coma. Because what follows is worse. The voice was his, but the cadence was wrong, mechanical, and ancient at the same time. We are the warning. We are the shield. What tears through the void cannot be allowed to find you unprepared. The quantum patterns suddenly concentrated, forming a perfect holographic image in the center of the lab. It showed a massive object moving through deep space, something that defied description, neither ship nor creature, but somehow both. And it was heading directly toward Earth. How long? Natasha demanded. 97 hours, Reed's voice replied. The breach opens in 97 hours. You must be ready. We can help, but the cost. The patterns flickered, and for a moment they could see through the walls of the station into the void beyond. Something moved out there in the darkness, something vast. The cost. Natasha pressed. Evolution is painful, the voice said. Some minds will break, some bodies will fail, but those who survive will be transformed. You must choose quickly, Commander. The void is hungry, and your species has drawn its attention. The hologram expanded, showing more of these entities approaching from different vectors. Earth's early warning systems hadn't detected them, because they weren't merely traveling through space, they were traveling through the quantum fabric of reality itself. Well, Reg said quietly, I guess we know where the leak came from now. Natasha straightened her uniform, her decision already made. They had built Outpost Helios to push the boundaries of human knowledge, to reach beyond what was known and safe. Now the unknown had reached back. Dr. Santos, work with the entity. Learn everything you can about these improvements. Raj, begin implementing them as soon as we have workable designs. Kenji, increase security around the medical bay. If this thing is using Dr. Reed as a conduit, we need to protect him. And you, Commander? Isabella asked. I'm going to inform Earth Command that we have 97 hours to prepare for something our species has never faced before. She managed a grim smile. And then I'm going to break every protocol in the book to make sure we survive it. As she turned to leave, the pattern swirled one final time, forming words in dozens of human languages. The breach comes. The choice is made. Let the transformation begin. Throughout Outpost Helios, every screen, every display, every quantum-touched surface began counting down. 97 hours to either the end of humanity as they knew it, or its transformation into something new, something ready to face the horrors that lurked in the spaces between spaces. The leak, they now knew, had never been a leak at all. It was a door, opened by beings who had faced these cosmic horrors before. Now that door would either be humanity's salvation or the beginning of its end. The next few hours would determine which.
72 hours remained on the countdown when the transformations began in earnest. Commander Volkov watched through the medical bay's observation window as another crew member convulsed, their body adapting to the quantum changes spreading throughout the station. Dr. Tanaka's team worked tirelessly, their own bodies showing signs of the change, faint patterns of light moving beneath their skin like bioluminescent tattoos. 14 more have undergone the transition, Dr. Tanaka reported, her eyes now containing tiny galaxies of swirling light. The success rate is improving, 87% survival rate on the latest group. Natasha refused to ask about the other 13%. She knew their names, had written too many letters to families already. And the survivors' capabilities. Beyond anything we could have imagined. Tanaka brought up a series of brain scans. They're developing what we can only describe as quantum consciousness, the ability to perceive and process information across multiple dimensions simultaneously, and their physical changes. She gestured to a nearby patient who was unconsciously floating several inches above their bed, surrounded by a soft aureole of energy. The station's AI interrupted with an urgent alert. Commander, anomalous activity detected in the quantum computing lab. Dr. Santos requests your immediate presence. When Natasha arrived, she found Isabella surrounded by floating holographic displays, her transformed eyes rapidly processing data streams that would have been incomprehensible days ago. Raj and Kenji were there too, both showing their own signs of change. Raj's hands now manipulated energy fields directly, while Kenji seemed to exist in multiple positions simultaneously, a quantum uncertainty made manifest. We've decoded more of the warning's message, Isabella announced without preamble. The entities approaching Earth, they're called the Void Hunters. They don't just destroy civilizations, they consume their quantum potential. Every possible future, every alternate timeline, devoured. Show me, Natasha ordered. The holographic displays coalesced into a massive visualization. It showed Earth, but not just one Earth, countless possible versions spanning infinite timelines. Then it showed the Void Hunters approaching, massive beings that existed in dimensions beyond human comprehension. Where they passed, possibility itself died, leaving only singular, unchangeable outcomes. The warning entity, Raj explained, his voice resonating strangely. They're survivors of a previous harvest. They found a way to evolve beyond physical form, to exist as quantum patterns in the fabric of space-time itself. They've been preparing civilizations, helping them transform before the hunters arrive. But why not just destroy the hunters? Natasha asked. Because they're necessary. Dr. Reed's voice echoed through the room as his quantum-possessed consciousness joined them. The universe requires entropy, requires reduction of possibilities to maintain stability. The hunters are part of that cosmic equation, but they can be redirected. If a species proves capable of quantum ascension, the hunters pass them by, seeking easier prey. So this transformation, Natasha gestured to her crew's altered forms, it's not just about survival. It's about proving ourselves worthy of continuation. Yes, multiple voices answered. Reeds, the warnings, and something older, something that spoke in frequencies that made reality itself vibrate. But the final test approaches. The breach comes. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Multiple quantum ruptures detected, the AI announced. Space-time distortions forming in sectors 7 through 12. They're early. Kenji's quantum echoes shifted into defensive positions. The hunters must have detected our transformation attempts. The station shuddered as reality itself began to tear. Through the quantum ruptures, they could see them, the Void Hunters. Their true forms were impossible for even their enhanced minds to fully comprehend, existing as they did across multiple dimensions. Where they touched normal space, physics itself began to break down. All transformed personnel to emergency stations, Natasha commanded, feeling her own transformation finally beginning, quantum energy coursing through her veins. Dr. Santos, activate the new defense systems. Raj, reinforce our quantum shields. Kenji, coordinate with Earth's defense forces, though God knows what good conventional weapons will do against these things.
Commander, Isabella called out, her body now more energy than matter. There's something else. The warning left us one last gift, a weapon. But using it, it would require a complete quantum conversion. Whoever triggers it would cease to exist in physical form entirely. Natasha looked at the countdown timer, now accelerated by the hunter's early arrival. Less than an hour remained before the full breach would open. Beyond the station's walls, the fabric of space-time continued to tear as the Void Hunters approached, their impossible forms distorting everything they touched. They had all known the cost of transformation would be high, but now the true price was becoming clear. To save humanity's future, someone would have to sacrifice not just their life, but their very existence across all possible timelines. The question was, who would pay that price? And would it be enough to turn back the hunters of possibility itself? Through the quantum ruptures, the Void Hunters drew ever closer, their presence already beginning to collapse the multitude of potential futures into a single terminal outcome. The next hour would determine not just the fate of Outpost Helios, but the destiny of humanity across all possible timelines. The quantum ruptures spread across Outpost Helios like cracks in reality itself. Commander Volkov, now fully transformed, perceived the station across multiple dimensions simultaneously. The Void Hunter's approach had accelerated her own quantum evolution, as it had for all surviving crew members. Only 30 minutes remained before the full breach. The weapon's quantum matrix is aligned, Isabella announced, her form flickering between states of matter and energy. But there's a problem. The targeting system requires a direct neural interface. Whoever activates it will have to merge with the quantum fabric of space itself. Through the spreading ruptures, they watched in horror as the first Void Hunter made contact with Earth's defense fleet. Ships didn't just explode, they ceased to exist, every possible version of them across all timelines simultaneously erased. The transformed survivors, Dr. Tanaka's voice echoed from medical, they're starting to destabilize. The Hunter's presence is affecting the quantum stability of their new forms. Raj's quantum echoes worked frantically at multiple control stations. The station's structural integrity is failing. Reality itself is being warped around us. We have maybe 10 minutes before total quantum collapse. Natasha made her decision. Dr. Santos, prepare the weapon. I'll. No. Dr. Reed's possessed consciousness interrupted. Your quantum signature isn't compatible. The neural interface requires someone already connected to the warnings network. Someone like me. Before anyone could react, Reed's physical form in the medical bay began to glow with intense quantum energy. The patterns that had been spreading through the station suddenly converged on his location. "Marcus, wait!" Dr. Tanaka tried to reach him, but an energy field pushed her back. "I was never going to survive anyway." Reed's voice echoed through every speaker, every quantum frequency. "The warning chose me because I was already dying. Stage 4 cancer. They gave me purpose in my final moments." The weapon's activation sequence began, drawing power from the quantum processor core. Through the ruptures, they could see the Void Hunters pause, sensing the building energy. The next few moments stretched across multiple timelines, each possibility playing out simultaneously in their quantum-enhanced perception. In one, Reed's sacrifice failed, and Earth fell to the Hunters. In another, the weapon destroyed both the Hunters and humanity. In countless others, different variations of victory and defeat played out. But Reed wasn't just activating a weapon. He was becoming one. His consciousness, enhanced by the warning's presence, expanded through the quantum network they had built. Every transformed crew member felt his presence, his determination, his final gift to humanity. The warning showed us the way. His voice resonated across dimensions, but humanity's strength was always in its potential, its infinite possibilities. The Hunters feed on possibility, but they've never encountered a species that could weaponize it. Reed's physical form dissolved completely, merging with the quantum fabric of the station. The weapon didn't just fire. It transformed the very nature of space-time around Outpost Helios. The Void Hunters, creatures that existed by consuming possibility, suddenly found themselves drowning in it. Reed had turned their own nature against them. Instead of destroying possibilities, he forced them to experience every possible timeline simultaneously. The Hunters, unable to process the infinite quantum variations, began to break apart. "Commander!" Reed's voice came one last time, now spanning all frequencies of existence. "The transformation is complete. Humanity is ready. The warning will remain, hidden in the quantum spaces between realities, watching, waiting, helping those who might face the Hunters next." The quantum ruptures began to seal themselves as the Void Hunters retreated, their incomprehensible forms torn apart by the weapon's effect. The transformed crew members stabilized, their new abilities permanently altered by their exposure to the quantum realm. Natasha looked out at Earth through both normal and quantum space, seeing not just the planet, but all its possible futures now preserved. The cost had been high, 23 crew members lost in the transformation, and Reed's ultimate sacrifice. But humanity had proven itself worthy of continuation. "Dr. Santos," she ordered, her voice carrying new harmonics of command, "prepare a full report for Earth Command. They need to understand what we've become, what we can be." "And what is that, exactly?" Kenji asked, his quantum echoes finally settling into a single form. Natasha watched as the last traces of Reed's consciousness merged with the quantum fabric of space, becoming part of the warning, part of humanity's new defense against the horrors that lurked between realities. "We're the guardians now," she answered. "Not just of Earth, but of possibility itself. The Hunters will return, and others like them. But we'll be ready. Humanity won't just survive in this quantum universe. We'll thrive in it." Throughout Outpost Helios, the transformed crew began the work of understanding their new existence. The station itself, enhanced by Reed's sacrifice, would become humanity's first quantum research and defense platform. The leak that had started it all was sealed, But the door it had opened, the door to humanity's next evolution, would remain forever changed. In the quantum spaces between spaces, the warning continued its eternal vigil, now joined by Reed's consciousness, watching as humanity took its first steps into a larger, stranger, more wonderful universe. The Void Hunters had come to end humanity's story. Instead, they had only opened its next chapter. And in the depths of space, on frequencies no unenhanced human could perceive, the countdown timer was replaced by a new message: transformation complete, quantum ascension achieved. Welcome to the universe, humanity. The story of Outpost Helios and its crew would become legend, but it was only the beginning. Humanity had faced its test, paid its price, and emerged transformed. The inexplicable leak had led not to their ending, but to their rebirth as guardians of possibility itself.